Yes, we are.
Hello, everybody. Welcome,
What?
welcome, and welcome to you, Valerie from Illumination Portal. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I didn't know that I hadn't sent her a link, so that was my dumb fault. But anyway, I'm glad you made it, and I'm glad I get here early enough that I'm get myself prepared. So, welcome, welcome. Hi,
Yeah.
Flowing. It's good to see you. Hi, Janet,
Hi,
and
Chloe.
Marie Audette. Hi, welcome to everybody. Thanks for coming. Hopefully, we'll
Oh,
get some more
wow.
folks. Yeah, we'll get some more folks here sooner or later. We're in no hurry. Yeah. So I am anxious to talk about this portal and the um,
Mm.
astrological stuff going on, but I don't want to do it just yet because I want more people to be here. So I'm gonna wait just a few minutes because I want to make sure that. And so tell me what you've been up to. Why don't you do that?
Oh, well, I'm doing a video series on my channel, Illumination Portal, for the 12 Universal Spiritual Laws. And I was
Ooh.
flowing pretty good, but that week right before the new moon, before
Yep.
the February 1st,
Yep.
really kicked my butt. I'm sure it kicked a couple people's butts, but
I think you're
I
right.
could
Yeah.
I couldn't even speak. I couldn't really
Oh, wow.
focus. Yeah, like I was
Okay.
having a really hard time. But
Uh-huh.
I knew the new moon was coming on February 1st, and then we had Imbolc,
Right.
and on the second, that second opened a portal and to the
Tell me
20.
what Imbolc is, just so people know.
Imbolc is like the preparation before the spring equinox, because in the
Oh,
spring
okay.
equinox, that's actually called Austera,
Okay.
and this is like the first sign of life after the darkness of the
Oh,
winter.
after the winter. Yeah.
And I think
Okay.
we can all feel that because I felt like I was buried in the winter right before all
I
this.
know. Yep.
Yeah, that's when the Scorpio moon is coming up, because it's build up to the Aquarius new moon. But when that Scorpio moon comes through every month, you will notice
Mm-hmm.
that you
Mm-hmm.
are going through a huge release, especially those of us who are sensitive to these energies and things. It really, and it probably happens to a lot of people and they're not aware. They're thinking they're messed up or something's messed up.
Yeah.
But, but this is really, it
We always
really,
blame ourselves, don't we?
yeah. But it really
Yeah.
helps you if you follow the moon throughout the month, and you'll
Mm-hmm.
see kind of what the theme is. And then when
Yeah.
Scorpio comes, the Scorpio moon will just blow it down.
Blow the doors off. Yeah. Oh, wow.
So
Hmm.
that's what happened to me.
Okay. Yep.
I was
Yep.
doing pretty good until that. But then after it passed, and you get to that new moon that was coming up, or the next moon, or whatever that is before the Scorpio moon passes,
Mm-hmm.
you'll feel a sigh of relief, and you'll
Yeah.
have a clearer path to go forward.
Right. Right. So, as you indicated, the second opened up a port. We can probably start with that now. So the second opened up a portal,
Yeah.
and the portal, because of the 2222222. I mean, we opened our office on 2/2/2022 at 2:02.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
And
cut we cut ribbons then. Yeah.
that is a beautiful day because, well, first of all, that date will never again occur in our
Yeah.
lifetime.
That's
It's
right.
very powerful because we have there's significance to it too. Like the United States of America is about to go through its first Pluto return, which is on 2/2/2022. And we can all see that
Mm-hmm.
Pluto, okay, just to be clear, is the ruler of Scorpio. So this is why I was bringing in the Scorpio moon, because you can see it starts to just burn things away. And we can
Right.
see in the last 4 years what has happened, 4 or 5 years, while it's been building up to this point in time. Because
Mm-hmm.
the last time Pluto was direct, when America was just started as a country, we were at war with Britain trying to
Right.
gain our freedom, and we're kind of in the same boat.
We're in a
You know,
war right now. Or actually, maybe even two, but yeah.
yeah, well, we're in internal war on
Sure.
our homeland, because look at this split, the division of the
Absolutely.
parties. Some people, it seems like it's okay that they want to take other people's freedoms away and insert
Mhm.
a dictator. You know,
Right.
I mean,
know.
this was, it was, you couldn't have really had a better visual of this Pluto return with that January 6th stuff and everything that has ensued with the
Right.
pandemic and since then.
Right. Right. So this particular portal is very powerful. So everybody knows between the 2nd and the 22nd. I'm not saying that it's going to go away or whatever, but it's
Yeah,
really powerful. And there's a lot of things that you can do
yeah,
to make your life a little bit better
yeah.
if you can go along with that. So do you have do you know some of those things, Valerie? Do you want to bring them up
Yeah,
or
sure.
yeah.
Well,
Okay.
222, okay, is a number of. I'm just getting it on here to get
That's
clear.
okay. Take your time. No worries. Don't expect you to remember all of this stuff.
I wish I could. I can't remember half of this stuff I'm trying to do.
Uh,
Okay, like on the date wise, we're never going to go through this date again. We
right.
have portals all the time. Literally, we
Yes.
have, a new moon, a full moon is a portal. But
Uh-huh.
with these numbers, with the significance of the Pluto return, there's a lot. Our attention, our focus is being grabbed at by the external, like to see, look how terrible this is or that is. When this is a time to go inside, get
Okay.
yourself strong within yourself so you can create the life you see, not what we're being told to see. This is
I get
all
you.
going to work out.
It
Pluto,
just doesn't look that way.
yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And it doesn't feel that way. But if you focus on that, like, I don't watch the news for this reason, because
Uh-huh.
it is pulling me away from my center. It's pulling me away from the things that I love to do, like have talks with you,
Right.
and
Right.
focus on
Yep.
spiritual things. We could do so much. Like, this is the invoke was the pre-spring to spring, so we can start
Mhm.
planting seeds. This means
Uh-huh.
literal seeds. This
Mhm.
means the seeds that we want to see in our lives to
Right.
plant and to
Right.
grow.
Seeds
There's
can be ideas. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Right.
ideas, all of it,
Sure.
everything, because your thoughts, beliefs really control
Sure. What
your,
grows?
your
Mhm.
yeah, how you live.
Yeah.
You can look outside in your vicinity right now and see if you're happy or unhappy. And this is a direct correlation from how you feel on the inside. And sadly, most of us don't even know we have these deep beliefs that are holding us back.
I know.
It takes a lot of work. I think most of us here work on that stuff.
Yeah.
But I know I'm still surprised. I'm still surprised. I found blocks last week, storms,
Yep.
Scorpio coming up, and I knew. I mean, I didn't know. I didn't have an idea that that was coming out.
Right.
But we
Yeah.
to prepare
And
ourselves.
with this ascension, it's hard to tell if it's ascension, if it's COVID, if it's the flu. There's a lot of that going on as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
There's,
That's right.
and I just kind of keep my eyes on ascension. I keep my eyes on the spiral up.
Mm-hmm.
What can I
Mm-hmm.
do right in this moment, especially like if I'm having a really bad moment, like I'm getting frustrated? I just stop and I breathe and I pause and I say, okay, right now, what can I do that will
Yeah.
change my vibration, reverse it from going any lower, at least get
Mm-hmm.
to neutral. And then from neutral, I get it higher. It,
Yeah.
we are literally on two planes of existence. We're in a third dimension and a higher.
Right.
It
Because
is,
we have to live here, but
yeah,
we're also, have to be connected to
but
spirit. Yeah.
we're here. We all chose to come here so we could
Right.
improve this,
Raise up stuff.
situation, because it is a horrific situation. A lot of it.
It really is.
Yeah.
I think it would be a good time for people to write down what they'd like to accomplish or to try to manifest, just like they would with a new moon and a full moon.
Oh, yeah.
Usually for your new moon, you usually write what you want to accomplish for the full moon. But during this portal, and there's a lot of information. If you go to Google and put in portal from 222 to 222, there's some information there that tells you what this particular time is good for. And you're right. I think it was like the 1st of February where I really realized, oh my God, it's 5:30 and it's still light out there. Because usually by 4:15, I'm in the dark here, so I know it's going to get better and better as we go towards spring. But it was just so nice. It was like, you don't have to get up in the dark and go to, and then have 6 o'clock dinner time ready to go to bed because it's dark.
Yeah, it is. And nature is so awesome because she shows us all of our seasons, right? And she's giving us hope. This is a very, very powerful portal with this 222 going on, because the energies just from the planets and everything else going on, the date, like if you combine it all, you can create so much. You can go so many steps ahead in your creation abilities right now.
Right.
And it doesn't take much. Let me see what I pulled up on the 222 number itself. Now this is coming up on 6 twos on the 222.
On the 22, right.
Right. But this is a confirmation that we're headed the right way. Seeing these repeated numbers, I'm sure we all have done this too, where you got the 1s, 2s, some days, like I was seeing 5s. I didn't even take that in right until right now. Because I was going through change during that prior to the new moon in Aquarius.
And you kept seeing the change number. Wow.
Yeah, and you don't even and I'm pretty quick on these things. I look for the synchronicities because spirit, nature, they're all talking to us and showing us how do we get on our This is how you follow this path. Follow your heart, really. That's the path.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit today about chakras, but I want to start out by saying sometimes you can find out if your chakras are out of balance. These are some of the symptoms of headache, blurred vision, sinus issues. I've had a lot of those. Eye strain, hearing loss. And I don't mean like you're going deaf, but like maybe you've got a blockage or something in there. And it's reminding you to look at your fears, some of your fears, in order to get yourself balanced into a good chakra balance.
Yeah.
So I was talking to my best friend yesterday, and we were talking about issues that we have left over from our childhood that we work on, and I have to work on mine, and she's working on hers. My husband we were all aware of where that is. It's very interesting. Mine are yellow chakra issues. Mine, and that's associated with guilt. It's also associated with power. So I don't think I felt I had power for many times when I was a child, and I was always guilty. So I carry the yellow, and I know you got some good examples of that.
Yeah.
For my husband and my friend, it's more shame. And shame is the orange chakra. It is, it can also be about sex. It could be about something happening with, your sexual whatever. And there's a lot of shame involved. With my husband, his mother told him every day, shame on you when he'd do something wrong. And he kept hearing it over and over and over again. The red one is trauma, usually. If your red chakra is way out of balance, you've had some kind of a trauma. Your green one is the inability or the ability to love and love thyself. So that's an important thing. The blue one is the ability to communicate, because it's a throat chakra, and self-expression. A lot of people have a blockage there because they don't feel like they can speak their truth, or they don't feel. Yeah, is it okay? I'm going to carry around a lot of blue ones, Valerie. See, I carry my yellow one.
Yeah.
And your third eye is the ability to see the big picture. You may not have the ability to see things from a higher perspective, and it's your intuition as well.
Yeah.
And of course, your crown chakra is at the top. It's violet, and it's how you fully connect to the divine or your spiritual path.
Mm-hmm.
So my suggestion is, most of us probably have more than one of those areas that needs to be helped out.
Yeah.
You can get one of those little medicine pouches.
Mm-hmm.
And, ladies, if you want to wear it in your brow, these rocks in your brow, that's fine. I don't care for that idea, but I will work with it with a medicine pouch.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I suggest that, let's say, for instance, your orange chakra is blocked. I would suggest eating oranges,
Mm-hmm.
tangerines, nectarines, whatever orange food you can. And me, it would be summer squash or, the yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some blues like eggplant, things like that
Mm-hmm.
you could also eat. But yeah, if you're thinking about how you want to manifest this, maybe wear the color, maybe, integrate the color as well.
Yeah. Well,
That's meditation, right?
yeah, yeah, you could do. I would definitely meditate. If you are just new to this, um, we all have, like Ali was just saying, we're all going to have issues in one or more chakras. So if you were to open them up like some way miraculously all at once, I think it would be too much for your
Yes.
energy body to
Your
handle.
kundalini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to work on these things kind of slowly. Now, I do this. I take a pendulum and I just travel down, and I see, like, if I go by my throat, it'll go in circles. My throat, my voice, I don't know. I was told as a kid, go away, shut up, shut up,
Oh, okay.
things like
Yeah.
that.
See, we all had different messages at times. Yes.
And,
Wow.
and I wanted to always exert my power and not shut up. So I was
Mm-hmm.
in trouble for that, but
Yeah. Yep.
um, the other
Well, they
chakra,
blocked it. They blocked it. You had to block it because they told you to shut up or be
yeah,
quiet or sit in the
yeah.
corner and be a good girl or whatever. Yeah.
And I've been
Wow.
working on this stuff for at least since 2010. I've been working on
Uh-huh.
things, my chakras especially, because once your energy body and all your chakras are in alignment and are flowing, and
Yep.
you're grounded into Mother Earth and connected to your higher self, you are in your power. That's when you're in your power. Now,
Uh-huh.
we this is why I was so saying about the external. It's so important right now to watch what you let in your energy field, because things
Yep.
can throw you off your center if you're not in your power. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't have control over you and your emotions and feelings and beliefs, and you can hear things without letting it devastate you, it takes
Yep.
I worked hard on this stuff. I used to get devastated, crying all the time.
Uh-huh.
My sacral chakra was way blocked up too, and I did a couple of these really intense meditations for that, and literally could feel and see this like dark smoke stuff
Oh, wow. Okay.
unraveling from it. It's
Yep.
crazy. I mean, some of our chakras are so uh,
Mm-hmm.
running backwards. There's so many things that can go wrong, that to do this work for yourself is really loving yourself. Because
It
once
is a form of self-care. It
yeah,
really, truly is. Yeah.
it's just like eating well, drinking enough water. This is
Yep.
so important to have your energy stable,
Flowing. Yep.
because things,
Definitely.
okay, these are portals, things are going on, but we have a lot of the dark in the external, the negative, that is trying to continuously pull down any joy for the world or for our nation, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So this is why it's
Mm-hmm.
focus on yourself. Send all that love. I'm not saying ignore it. I'm not saying piss off. This is just about me. No, we send everything love, and we wish it peace and harmony for all.
Mhm.
It's
Right.
just not the billionaires or the politicians. We are all being affected.
That's very true. It's funny that you say the pissed off thing, because I remember once when my daughter was in high school, she did something and it really pissed me off. And I stood downstairs and I was yelling up to her upstairs and saying, "You really pee me off, and
Mm,
what the H and everything else." And do you know the next day I got a urinary infection?
mm. And this is
Words
what
are
happened.
very, very powerful.
Yeah.
And, Susan often talks about it, but Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life, also
Mm,
talks about how you've manifested different dis-ease in your body.
yes.
And, your words are very big, and so are she tells you what it is that you're dealing with if you're having an issue that you can't quite pinpoint.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, if you're looking at your zodiac sign, this has been
Mm,
very good for me. I'm a
mm-hmm.
Libra, and Libra rules the kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
And here I am being pissed off.
Yeah.
But not only that, I mean, I do have kidney issues, and I've got to
Yeah.
be very careful with it. Like Pisces rules the feet. You've got to
Yes.
be careful of your feet and take good care of them. So all of these things inform us as to how we can bring in our own self-care. And they're all different ways that show us how these things manifest. So I think
Yeah.
that's
And then we kind of put all the pieces together. You get
together.
your
Yeah.
astrology, you get your chart, watch the transits. I would suggest everybody get a chart, your natal chart, and then try to get one that's showing you the transits. Or you could even do it online if that's
True.
interesting.
Yeah, you can. Hmm.
Any astrology site will give you a natal chart, and then you can put a transit chart on top of it. And this is how I learn. I
Sure.
couldn't afford all those classes. I'm in class
Hmm.
now for something else, but once you know your astrology, you know yourself, you know what your trauma triggers
Hmm.
are,
Yeah.
you start to learn how to heal yourself. But before, like I was like you, I would cause my own illnesses. I
Yeah.
would
You
hold
can.
I
Yeah.
would hold that rage in, because I wanted to be I wanted everybody in the world to be free, and I see how the world is. So
Right.
how do you fight the world? How do
You
you
can't.
get?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
You have to let it. You got to turn that one over. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that was hard for me, and
I understand. Yeah.
I created fibromyalgia. I lived in extreme
Hmm.
pain for a long
Hmm.
time, and until I decided, and this is going to sound terrible, like, oh well, it's you, you you are, but you really are the one who has the power to heal you. You know,
Yeah.
they going to the doctors and stuff. Yet they told me I would never walk right. I would always be in pain, and to deal with it. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to figure something out,
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
take a lot of magnesium, because magnesium rebuilds the cells over top of the sheaths, the nerve sheaths
Right.
that cover your nerves. Because what fibromyalgia does is it takes all of those, it
Nerve
exposes
endings.
those nerves.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
always, that's why it flares up in different places.
Sure. Sure.
But
We
magnesium
should
alone,
note that we're not doctors, though. We're not
no, we're not
doctors. We're not
doctors.
recommending it. Yeah. I have to say that. Sorry.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
forget. And then
Yeah.
I got into the crystals, and
Yeah.
this, this one
Wow.
particular, this obsidian saved my life. I would lay
Wow.
with it, sleep with it. Um, he was probably my first one that I had that
Uh-huh.
I really actually put an attention to it, because
Good.
that's our intentions that we have to put into the crystals to get them
Hmm.
to help us with whatever we're going through.
Hmm.
But that, and this also helps you ground into Mother Earth.
Right.
Your Earth
Anytime you
starts
have
off,
a dark, a black, yeah, definitely.
yeah, and it
Yeah.
removes the negativity, pain. Um, the Earth Star chakra, which is right up below our feet, that
Uh-huh.
one is also kind of really associated to the red root chakra, where
Hmm.
if you didn't feel safe or you didn't
Yep.
have security, um, it comes out as anger. But as a little kid, you don't know these things. You're just going through life and, feeling unsafe.
You are, and my mother. I could never get mad at my mother, and I love her dearly, and I've had to deal with that fact. But I think I held that in for so long that I let it out on other people that didn't deserve anything like that.
And,
So
and I think we all do, we do that but something in us, something clicks inside of us. It starts to show us, because there's too many synchronicities. There's too many things going on, that there's something more. And that's like when usually the spiritual awakening occurs. And
right,
you go
right.
through the dark nights of the soul. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
usually very painful. It's usually an illness or a disease that is triggering this. And the more you get in, and I'm not saying unfortunately, I had a few dark nights of the soul, and it, like, every one of them was painful, but I would come out lighter on the other
Right.
end of it.
Yeah, because you moved into the pain. Unfortunately,
Yes.
we usually resist it,
Yes.
and it's very hard to do that. No one wants
Yes.
to do that. Nobody
No.
does. Wow.
No.
I want to post this here because it's thanks for posting this, greeter, and welcome back. I haven't seen you in a while, and I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much. You mentioned spirit guides to your sister, and she said she doesn't believe in them. Worries it maybe something evil. Okay. There's a lot of people, you have to really discern who you can say, and that's your sister. You should be able to, but I get people, oh, you're woo woo, or, you're out of here, what crazy, or whatever it is. And, she'll find out eventually that she always had these guides around her, and that, you aren't so unusual after all.
No, our soul is so huge. If you think about your soul, and we are a divine spark of the infinite, right?
Right.
We live, or we exist for eternity. To think that there's only this one aspect of me, and when I die, it's over, I'm dead. I don't understand that. I don't know if that's what the sister's trying to say, but there's so many
Right.
aspects of us that
There are
not in spirit, that our higher self, we're connected to our higher self as our main guide. And once you connect to that, you'll see that, I talk to my higher self with my pendulum all the time. I
there
just
you go.
ask questions,
Yep.
It took me a long time to really even believe all this myself. I wanted to back
Yeah,
then,
I know.
but I thought, oh, everybody's going to judge me and point fingers
That's a
at
hard
me.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
And
hardest part.
and that hits all your chakras. That
It does.
also misaligns your chakras. So you're like, I'm never going to get.
Yeah. It's like that song, "Shall I Stay or Shall I Go Now?"
Right. I love that song. But the evil is when you have a dark being around you, there's no disputing that. Because if you're a heart-centered, soul-centered being of love, and you're hearing constant thoughts like I hear this happens to people who are suicidal. Just kill yourself.
Okay.
That is not anything of love talking to you. Your spirit, your higher self would never speak to you like that. But people who don't believe in anything higher than them think it's them, and they think they're flawed, and they should kill themselves, and they don't even understand that it's not even them saying it.
Right.
It's something else is
right. There's
in their
something else
field.
that's amiss. Yeah. There's something
And
else.
again, this can determine if you have any dark, a lot of times dark.
And these are about $6 or so, guys.
Yeah.
Not expensive at all. Yeah, just so you know. Yeah. You
You
can
can
even get them on Amazon. You can.
I made that. I just made this one. I mean,
just made it.
Because a lot of the dark, when you have, this is a chakra, and it's a new one coming on. It's above, it's your neck, but above a little bit, and it's called the ultimate major. And when you get, I know this for years, I'd have constant pain there. My neck was always sore, right?
Yep.
That is, it was opening, but at the same time, if there's darkness in the field, and there is, obviously by the external, we can see a lot of dark out there. these things start to attach to you, you know,
Uh-huh.
attached to you back there. Your neck always hurts, or you always have temple headaches. That's another place where it's um
Blocked.
those types of attachments can happen.
Okay.
Sex with anybody, when you're opening up that energy for, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of guides say you have to clear all those people you've shared that type of
Uh-huh.
energy with, because there's a cord that's always going to be
We
attached.
are attached by cords to people. We are. We
Yeah,
have to cut them if we want to release them. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
there's a lot to this going on.
So Cindy, you later on say you're a Cancer, so that's why you're a water sign, and water signs are very, very emotional.
Yeah,
But it's the heart. It's the heart that's too open. Is that what it is, Valerie?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You got to
You,
protect it. Yeah.
yeah, you need the boundaries. You need the
Yeah.
boundaries. You need to say, okay, right now I, you know, I went through a few years of this where I was emotionally a mess, and I just stopped and
Yeah.
went into myself. I mean, I did the things I had to do on the 3D world, but I went into myself. I got to know myself. I got to see my triggers. I got to talk, ask those questions to my spiritual guides and my higher self. Help
Mm-hmm.
me through this. They're
Yeah.
there to help, but we have to ask. First,
Yeah.
you want to do something to protect your energy. Any black
Mhm.
stone. In fact, if you can only do two stones, do a clear and a black. This will
Okay.
balance.
That definitely balances, like a
Yeah,
quartz and a
that's
sugilite, not sugilite.
yeah, it is. It
Oh, it
just
is
means
sugilite.
what?
Okay.
And
Okay.
no, shungite. You're right, shungite.
Shungite. Shungite.
And this is a clear crystal, but it doesn't even
Mhm.
matter. They don't even have to be that big. They can be tiny. You know, carry them with
Mhm.
you in your pocket all the time. This will keep
Yeah.
your energy fields clear. And then once
Uh-huh.
you get used to this and you feel like, well, maybe I could use something for my heart. My heart is overly exposed.
Right.
And I know I'm a Cancer. I am as a kid, I was very
Oh, you're a
emotional.
Cancer too? Okay, so you know. Yeah.
So those emotions can tear you up. I see anything with oh, I see
Yeah.
anything with an animal being abused or a
Oh,
child, and I'm done.
yeah. Yeah,
I
I know.
can't. I have to really.
Mhm.
I monitor what comes in my field on purpose, because if
Right.
not, I will be laying in my bed
Too hard to
crying.
look at. Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
difficult. Yeah. I
yeah, and
understand.
we
There
can
was
do
a
so much better
that's
if we're focusing on our heart and our joy. And I'm not trying, like I said, if you see that stuff, send it love, send it peace and harmony, but then go
right.
back into yourself, focus on your love and joy, because the more of us that do that, it raises the vibration faster, and we'll all be up out of this mess, because lower vibration cannot live in a higher vibration. They just can't, you know, that
One of my Native American shaman teachers told me that when you see anything dead in the road,
mm,
bless it by saying aho, and so it will go on its way. Aho, aho, aho.
mm,
And I don't, I always feel terrible, but I always bless it on its way. Thank
mm,
it for what it did in this life.
mm,
It's because there's nothing else you can do,
yeah. Yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the hardest part, is like a lot of us want to fix all this.
All this, I know.
And
Especially if you're an empath,
yeah,
definitely.
and
Yeah.
you're a psychic, empath, water signs. Well, it doesn't even matter what sign you are, because we are all, look at the spiritual community. We're all different, but we
Yes.
all have the same
We
goal
have
in
the
mind.
same fundamental things that
Right.
we look at. Yeah. Judith, I think it's wonderful that you worked with your mother's soul, and that you were free from old pain because she had abused you, and that you have transformed that into a positive. And
Mhm.
I can't say enough about that. A lot of people live with that anger for their whole lifetime, and it's not good for you, and certainly not good for, especially you. I mean, that's wonderful.
And that's
Um,
hard. It's hard when it's your mom, but you got to work through it. Like Hallie said, you
mhm.
don't you cut those cords, send them love. You know, no matter who,
Yep.
what they've done to you. If they're
Right.
not,
And that's not easy to do though,
yeah,
Valerie, especially
yeah,
if you've been abused. But
yeah,
God, Judith, that's one, it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with
yeah.
us.
I was abused. I had to do that. It's not
Yeah,
easy.
it isn't easy. That's for sure. I like this. You can, Cindy, you can hold the ring fingers to harmonize grief and sadness. You can hold gently or detail the finger by concentrating on more pressure. And if you
Oh,
find pain, that's with your reflexology as well. Here we go with a different idea, but reflexology is done because we hold different things in different places, including
yeah.
our hands. So
Bruno
yes, and if you,
always has these really cool things where she goes into. She's got a lot of knowledge on this healing stuff.
uh-huh, yeah,
This is always a good, like if you get real stressed out or you're upset, press there too, like right in this
uh-huh,
part of your hand.
yeah. Andrea, thanks for weighing in on that. Um,
Yeah,
that's great, and we do need to shift it to the bright light white of soul.
yeah,
Yeah, what a ride we're on is right.
yeah. It is
Oh,
crazy.
thank you, Judith. I'm so glad that your awakening has occurred and that you're able to move forward. And yes, it was so heavy, but now you've
Hmm.
got the joy because you've released it. Wow.
Hmm.
And this is very true. Craig's right. Some people are too religious. They think it's evil. They think there's something about it that, you're going to end up in a cult or, whatever. And
Hmm.
this is like the least cultish thing I've ever seen, because really
Hmm.
we're all just free beings getting together, and sharing
Yeah,
knowledge.
sharing our
Yeah.
ideas on how to raise the vibration on the planet by raising our individual vibration. Okay, and like I said, once this occurs, we're living in
Yeah.
a higher vibration where lower
Yeah.
vibrations can't exist. But
Judith, thanks for bringing up the thymus chakra.
mm,
I remember
mhm,
watching a show a number of years ago, and the thymus would be between the heart and the throat chakra. So it would be
mhm,
somewhere up in here. And
mhm,
we can activate it by tapping on it.
mhm,
And I think that there was a woman that used to tap on it and say something. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like, everything always works out for me, or, this is, everything is good. I'm very
yeah,
happy, or whatever it is. But like you mentioned, the chakra back here, and there are other chakras in our hands and in our
mhm.
elbow, there,
Yeah,
more than we know about.
yeah.
But yeah, that thymus one is really awesome as
And
well.
the thymus is now, like, I guess they're calling, well, our community is calling it the high heart chakra.
Uh-huh.
So that's when you can really feel this area light up when
Right.
it does. Yeah. And this is use some green stones or pink stones. This is for your heart chakra.
Heart.
This is
Yep.
serpentine. This is a really good
Oh,
grounding.
nice. Uh-huh.
Let me see if I can find a thingy. But there are so many cool things that we can do. Sound healing. There,
Yep.
the crystals, the
A combination. And everybody will find something that works better than
yes,
the other thing.
yes,
But that's okay, because
yeah.
we're all different people. Yep.
And that's beautiful that we have all these different
I
modalities
know.
to work
I
with
know.
and Mother
We do.
Nature.
We don't have to fall into a crack here and all
Right.
have the same one. Craig, this is a good share and very important, I believe. Um, Protecting yourself
Mhm,
is very important to do,
mhm,
not in a frightening way, but I
mhm,
agree with you. You can feel people's pains and people's fears. I used to feel that way in a
mhm,
mall. I had people bombarding me because I didn't protect myself and now I don't even go there. But if I did, I'd have to wrap myself up
mhm,
in white light or a bubble or something like that. But yeah, when we're working with our guides, or usually our guides are good guys, but
mm.
you never know. It's just best to know when you need to
Yeah, and this is
wrap
where
yourself up.
the crystals for me come in, especially having a black crystal and a clear crystal. Craig, you could
Uh-huh.
carry those with you. You could get just I always cover myself. I bring the color out of my heart center. So I use gold healing light, but it's like see-through. And I
Yep.
cover myself in a bubble, ground into the earth, up into my higher self, and I know this bubble is my protection. Nothing is coming in here
that you don't want.
or that I
Yeah.
can't see
Yeah.
and handle myself. But yeah, when I know when I was a kid, you feel people's pain and fear. That is freaky. A lot of people think
It
it's
is.
them. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember going as a kid, going into a restaurant with my parents, and the room was really, really crowded, and
Mhm.
people were all having their conversations, and all I could hear was, and
Mhm.
it made me anxious.
Yeah.
I had an anxiety attack,
Yeah.
but I was a kid. I didn't know what it was. I felt like it was voices in my head, but it was all that noise. So
Yeah.
noise really bothers me. A lot of noise.
Yeah. And
Um,
all these traumas that happen to us as little kids, this is very important because that is a impressionable age. We're like recorders at that age. That's why it takes we can't let it go until an adult and you're back there looking at it going, why? I was just a little
yeah,
kid. Well, that as kid we remember all that for
yeah,
later on so we can heal it all. And I guess I don't know. I don't know why, but
yeah. They do, just tiny moments can define us and we don't even know why. Just something that happened. I remember my father gave my mother alabaster horses from Africa. He was there during the war, and they were crossed like this. They were very, very heavy. And my brother pulled down the scarf under them. And of course, they smashed to smithereens. And, oh my God. And that nobody in the family heard enough about, oh my God, that was like the worst thing that could have ever happened. And so it can be even something you didn't do, but you saw somebody else do and
yeah,
saw what happened to them when they did it. And it
yeah,
kind of follows through as well.
yeah. You're
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to do that.
I'm
I'm
not
not
doing
doing
that. Yep.
that.
Melinda, I like what you say here. You can work with rocks, stones that are outside that you see that grab your attention. And I've found many of them in my life because I grew up in the granite state. So I'd find some pink granite, which is one way, Conway granite, and then the concrete granite is white with granite in it. And I picked up one that was probably this big, and it just screamed at me. It was down by the ocean, and I took it home, and I love it. It's just, it doesn't matter that it's not fancy or shiny So I agree with Melinda that any rock you see, and
Oh,
shells, the
of
same
course.
thing.
Yeah, I was just going to
Yeah.
say shells. Yeah, I find rocks everywhere. Now, I do really work with them. Um, uh, the, what was I going to say? The shells. Sorry.
Oh,
Mine
all
just
right.
went boop, boop.
You have a shell? Did you find a shell for your smudge as well, like a abalone shell that you can put your
Yes, I
smudge in?
have a bunch of those, but
Yeah.
I have crystals in there. I use
Okay.
I use a
Yeah.
clay like pot for my
Clay pot.
smudging.
Okay.
Like it's a little. It looks like a little witch's kettle thing.
Cauldron.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, cauldron.
Yeah.
And
Cool. Yeah.
it's deeper. This is. I'm always afraid I'm going to burn something on
Oh
it.
yeah, we got to be really careful. Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you mean. Um, I
Oh
thank you for sharing that. And that's that. If doing mindful meditation is fabulous. I had
yeah.
a student of mine who was a parent, and she was a para educator, say that just before COVID, they were starting to do meditation, and
Hmm.
that then COVID came, and they didn't start it even. And then she said, I'm not sure, and she's very metaphysical, but she said,
Hmm.
I'm not sure that's a good idea because it will create more criticism. Look what they're doing with the books now. Look what they're doing with critical race theory. Look what they're which is a misnomer. So maybe if we teach them mindful meditation, that we're trying to
Hmm.
indoctrinate them in some way, which is really quite sad that we have
It
come
is.
to this.
Yeah, it is sad because
Yeah.
these kids need. I know a lot of my childhood issues after being a child, being
Hmm.
a drug addict, an alcoholic, and
Hmm.
things like that, came because I didn't know how to soothe. I didn't know that. I didn't know what safety and stuff was when I was really little. My dad was causing trouble. As an alcoholic. The house was always, you know, uh, static. The energy wasn't good. Not when it was just my mom there and my brothers. We were good, but he walked in at any moment. You never knew when that was going to be. That takes a toll on a kid, and the kids need to know that mindful meditation is an option, one of the options. Without
Wow.
being.
Yeah. Yep. No, I agree. I love this explanation. Holding the thumbs harmonizes the entire being. This is why babies suck their thumbs. They are harmonizing. And so if you teach the children to hold their thumbs, they're the leader of the parade.
Oh,
You guys are
wow.
such great sharing.
Yeah,
Thank you so
I
much.
love
Yeah,
that.
I love
I
that so
was
much.
one of those kids who sucked my thumb, so I must have been trying to harmonize
Me
stuff.
too. Me too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, there was something that all right.
Between the best friends, stern resistance, kind of that.
Yeah. There was another one I saw here. Hold on. Oh, that's really interesting stuff. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
love all these different modalities and things that
Yeah.
because there's so much offered to us now
Yeah.
that we can
True.
really work on our vibration. But I'd have to say, focusing more on yourself right now to create the life you want without letting the external world interfere
Dictate. Yeah.
with
Yeah.
your peace and harmony and loving
Sure.
yourself. When you were
Mhm.
saying this to hit your thymus,
Diamonds.
just,
Yeah.
just tell yourself, I love myself. I love you. I
Yeah.
love you. Like that is so important. I don't think many of us were taught that's to love and accept yourself. And
Mhm.
accepting yourself is hard, especially if you had a crazy past.
Yep.
You got to go in
That's
there
true.
and be like, giving myself a free pass, giving myself
Uh-huh.
a pardon. Because if you would have known better, you would have did better.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
you listened to you didn't. And
Uh-huh.
here we
Yep.
are. So,
We weren't, yeah, because we just didn't know. Yeah, that's why you have to forgive your parents too. If they had known better,
yeah,
they would have done. Yeah, and the
yeah,
same thing with you and your own children.
yes.
Teresa, you know, we work on something and work on it, and we think, oh well, I think I've got this thing cleared. And then you said you got chronic illness. My wonder is, and I'm not a metaphysical physician or doctor or anything else. My first thought when I read this was, you must have carried it for a very long time. And in carrying it for so long, you probably had chronic illness
Mm-hmm.
building up, and that just manifested itself at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's just a guess. I don't know. I thought my fibromyalgia was all set, but I was up north without my hot tub for probably about a month and a half. And I just thought, I got to get home. I got to have that. I was in misery. I was,
Mm-hmm.
the weather, the cold
Yeah.
weather makes it
Cold.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it comes and goes. So it
Mm-hmm.
isn't something that's always, but it is fairly chronic. It comes back and, sometimes it's acute and other times it isn't. But I'm sorry you're dealing with that, Teresa, and I hope you'll be able to clear it.
Yeah. And I'm honestly going to tell everybody again, I'm not a doctor, but the
Right.
double dosing on the magnesium, I
It's
couldn't
made a
believe it.
difference for you. Doesn't it help you sleep too? Doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
helps you. And it's
I thought so.
rebuilding all your cells because these traumas, okay, are deep cellular
Yeah. Deep
things that
cellular level.
you do release layers, but it comes out in layers. It's not like a one and done, which is,
Yeah.
we
It's
all want that.
peeling off like an artichoke, right?
Yeah.
Marcia wanted to know what the thymus was, and it's in the chest between the lungs. It makes the white blood cells, which are a part of the immune system,
Mhm.
and so it helps fight infection. And it's in the chest between the lungs and breastbone
Mhm.
and above the heart. So if you can work
Mhm.
with that, hopefully you can use it to fight infection as well by tapping on it.
Mhm.
So Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate of vitamins and minerals.
Yeah.
I didn't do that
Absolutely.
before until I
Right?
went on to the fibromyalgia website, and they're the ones who suggested the
Okay.
magnesium. And
Because
that's
that disease is in our heads, because you can't see it. People see
mm,
you and they say, "Oh, you're all right. What's wrong with you?"
yeah,
Not. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
and they
And
did it.
chronic fatigue, same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and doctors treat you like that too, which is even
Oh,
worse.
they
That's
do.
why I started going to alternative healers, sound
Yeah.
healers,
Good.
look, doing what I could, because I
Yeah.
wasn't accepting their diagnosis that I was always going to feel like that.
Right.
I couldn't imagine having to feel like that for the rest of my life.
So here's
But
another thing. Andrea brings this up, and I like this also
mhm,
for medical idea. We tend to give our power over to those people who, and in some ways we should, like doctors tell us, like, you're going to never walk again, or you're never going to do this again, or whatever. And
mhm,
until we think critically and say, well, that's a prognosis, but this doesn't have to define me, and I'm going to do what I do. Within reason. You don't want to not take medicine because you're just pissed off at the doctor or whatever. But it's important for us to. And you're right, Andrea. Power mongers do not want us to think.
mm-mm,
I went into a doctor once, and I have a hip problem, and I told her that my what's the name of it? It has a name like tribunca or something. I can't think of the name of it, but I said that
mm.
that area, the tribunca, whatever it was. And she went, "How do you know that word?" Yeah. And,
Wow.
and I wasn't telling her what to do. I wasn't diagnosing what to do. I was just simply, I said, it's in this area. I said,
Mhm,
well, my husband is a chiropractor, but also I look
yeah,
things up and I study what I want to know. So, yeah.
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 And
Isn't that
that
funny?
and then now there's so much information.
Uh-huh.
You do have to be very discerning, Andrea. I agree with you
Uh-huh.
there. You have to
Yeah.
discern
Yeah.
everything, and it comes down to us being if when we trust ourselves and we're good in our energy fields, we
Yep.
can discern better. But a
Yep.
lot of people who are still not able to trust themselves or are having, hard time being in their power, it's not easy to
That's
trust.
right. That's right. And PTSD, having it for a
Oh,
very long time can also create chronic illness and
yeah,
pain inside.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So we're going to need to know all about this Jin Shinjitsu, Juno, because it sounds like it's
Well,
something we need to know about.
Ali will
So
be back. I think we're here.
am I not here?
Yeah. Wait. No, you're here, but your videos, I don't know,
Buffering?
talk. Yeah.
Hello. Okay.
It's just a
Hello,
little lag.
everybody.
It's
Little
okay.
enough. Okay. All right.
Did you want to go like on some chakra stones, or did you want
Yes,
to?
you can end up with that. We got about 7 minutes left.
Okay.
Thank you for everybody's input. That was
Yes.
wonderful. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I know we didn't even get to do pull cards. I would have loved to.
We'll do it again. Yep.
Yeah. So we have the obsidian and the shungite. These are good for protecting that energy from anything negative, mental, emotional, spiritual. This is arginine. This is very good for
Mm.
your psychic attacks, anything like that, anything that seems to be unusually being repeated in your head.
Ah,
Those black stones fix that, and it's also good for the root. I'm sorry, the soul star chakra underneath. And I
okay.
have a piece of red calcite for your root.
There you go. Yeah.
And just feeling that, and you get these when a black and a red stone like that, you feel very safe, which is really all we really want is to feel safe in our energy fields.
Right.
Um, if you don't have those bases covered, your energy is going to be off. You're out of alignment.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
something to think about and work on. And then
I want to just say one thing while you're, and I don't want to interrupt you, but some
go
people
ahead.
say I can't feel anything from the stones. I can't, they don't do.
Mm,
It doesn't matter. They work on with you on a subtle level, and whatever you're working on, if you can use those colors. Okay, I'll let you talk. I'm sorry.
No, you're absolutely right. It is. It's
Yeah.
very subtle, but think about this. It took millions of years for Mother Earth to grow this. All those energies in there are very powerful,
Right.
and thousands of years ago, humans have gave colors the different meanings that we use today, because over that time period, that's what they noticed. Red is very, fiery and passionate. You're and if you feel good inside your body, these start to help you in that respect. Not only will they help you get out of the lower vibrations, but once you are using them in a higher vibration, they help you with that. So it's not like they lose their usefulness after anything. And they always emanate that energy because they took them millions of years to become, us to find them and dig them out and stuff. This is also good too, this terahertz. This is really good if you're on a computer all day. All
Not
the
a hematite? Is that a hematite or no?
Well, no, this is called terahertz. It's actually man-made, but I mean, it's hematite does the same thing. Hematite is very good grounding. I don't have a piece in front of me, but the orange chakra. Now these are hard. The orange. This was coated. This is a tangerine quartz crystal, and it's covered with the aura coating, which is usually silver, platinum, and gold in it, and that makes it more connected to your spirit, higher, creative, all that is. But orange and yellow are very hard chakras. I mean, we can gain our stability with our red chakra and the soul star, but if you had sexual abuse, all those shaming, blaming, that's that yellow and orange chakras, and they take a while to heal. That takes a little while, but these help and assist you. Now, these are just one way. You can go to sound healing. You can do the singing bowls. There's many, many ways to get to that healing part of yourself. Just takes it takes time, and it's you following your heart and what interests you. Oh, this is another good one for grounding. Sorry, this is a pyrite and
pyrite.
Yeah.
And you know what? Pyrite was always called fool's gold, and just recently they figured out that it really has some gold in it, and it's so the prices went up.
Yes, it does.
That was crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, and that's the solar plexus chakra. So that's your power. That's in the middle of your body. Center. Yeah, that's a really good one and it grounds you at the same time. The light blue, and I have a hard time finding light blue. Well, we all know.
Like angel light.
Angel light. There you go. And celestite.
And
they're
celestite.
Very good. And then, this is thulite. Thulite, I think is what. Let me see real quick. I already said, I know you might not see it today, but I usually have a really hard time with my throat. I'll start making a video, my throat automatically closes on me. I can't swallow.
This is what you need.
Oh, that's a pretty one. I think
some lapis,
Oh, you got that's lapis? Oh, that's a nice.
I think so. Yeah.
I thought
I love it so much. I remember my college ring has lapis stone in it because it just resonates so well with me. That's awesome. Yeah.
So this one was trolite, and it's a powerful manifestation.
I love trolite.
Yeah.
Hold it up. I can't see it. Yeah. Oh. Yes, I love it. I love it.
That activates all energy centers and light channels. So this is like connecting everything together. Increasing your metaphysical abilities, attracts your desires, and helps you release anything blocking your spiritual growth and ascension.
Yeah.
So this is one thing, like I tried to, when I was starting on the chakras, I would get them and I would connect them to my heart, And then
Yeah.
I'll connect my throat to my heart, my throat to my solar plexus. This is how you clear those channels. Exactly what they're
Awesome.
saying. And this is a blue tiger's eye. This is for your third eye. And our
There you
pineal
go.
gland
Yeah.
has been closed on purpose by the food we eat and the water we drink. Our pineal glands are calcified. So
Right.
when that opens up, that's usually
Boom.
a migraine. Yeah, or if you have migraines consistently, that's your third eye trying to open up. The anxiety attacks. This is what I wanted to tell you about, Allie, in the heart. I was so upset and frustrated one day. I had them every day. I'd wake up with an anxiety attack. And I said, you know what? I don't care. I hope it kills me. I hope I have a heart attack and die. The day I said this, I just let it go, and the energy poured out of my heart. My heart chakra's been open ever since. This was like 10 years ago. I would have never
Oh my goodness.
I would have never thought they were connected. I thought I was really going to have a heart attack and die. I was hoping. I was in so much pain.
No, please don't say that.
I know. Well, no, I don't
Yeah.
know. But
I know, but I don't want anybody else doing that. That's all.
It felt so good when I let it go. It just felt so good, and the energy just poured and rushed out of there, and has been like that since.
Excellent.
It's crazy.
Why don't you just go ahead and pull one card for everybody for just the collective, and I'll because we're at an hour, so I want everybody to know this is from the Metatron cards.
Oh,
and we're being given a wake-up call.
Yes.
Listen and take note. Listen and take note for your own wake-up call. Whatever it is that you feel will work for you, follow it, love it, and know that you're being called. All of us here, of course, are called to do our work for this world. Yep.
Yep, and we follow our heart. And look at the card I picked out. This is from the Sage Goddess deck. Self-trust.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that
we
something?
Do need to trust ourselves. Yeah.
The time has come to really trust who you are and love yourself fully. If there are parts of you that are out of alignment with your faith or your values, call them into alignment now so you feel better and more integrated. Then trust your intuition and inner knowing without question, going as much as you can with the flow of your desires and passions. Cultivate your higher self as a trusted ally and seek its voice in meditation. And look, it's solar plexus, what we've been talking about all day.
Yeah.
And the crystal is citrine. So here's a piece of citrine.
And that's what this is. Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. That kind of sums up the whole conversation. It's your card and my card. That was so cool.
Yes, Marcia, we will do it again. We usually try to come on once a month together. Sometimes we're on Valerie's channel. Sometimes we're on my channel. And next month, if we go on Valerie's channel, I will let you know in my community page. I'll give you a link to it and you can go to it. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. It was a great riff and we didn't plan it. This is just what we do. So thank you for all of your input because that matters. It really matters to us.
Oh, yes. We're all in this together, and the more ideas and support we can give each other, the better off. We're going to raise that vibration faster and higher.
Oh, great. Thank you, Marcia Green. Love you guys. Thanks, everybody. I'll be on at 12 o'clock today in about an hour with the Shield Maidens. But Valerie and I will be back next month. All right? Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.